from Cuyahoga Falls. My name is Jehovah. Welcome back to War of Rights. It is Saturday and we're hanging out with the UEC, so thanks once again to everyone in the UEC for allowing me to be a part of these awesome events. We will be starting momentarily, but before then the guys have to all get mustered into the servers and make sure everybody shows up in the right place. This is the Eastwood skirmish map. Now, if you've been watching this channel for any time, you know that we like to talk history over here. So, very important part of the field is the north end side of the field. As a matter of fact, what you're looking at there, those are the North Woods and beyond the Joseph Poffenberger farm. Now, we are a little over toward the east on the creek side. This is going to be the Samuel Poffenberger farm. Still there today. And then off in the distance, hard to see, those are the Hoffman and Line farms. That's going to be where the 12th Corps is going to be camped the night of the 16th. They're going to march in from that area. And remember, everyone slept on their arms. Any of these ideas where you see depictions of the Battle of Antietam and they have tents and things like that, it's just not accurate. The guys walked in and they laid on their arms, meaning they did not pitch tents, they didn't make fires. They were just waiting for the sun so they could start killing each other again. And so this is a very important part of the battlefield. You can come here today. General Mansfield shot and mortally wounded in this general vicinity facing into the East Woods. He thought his men were firing into the backs of his own soldiers, but in fact he was facing Confederates, and one of those bullets found home and took out Mansfield. He's one of the 6 generals killed or mortally wounded on America's bloodiest day, September 17th, 1862. This is part of the Maryland campaign, of course, the Battle of Antietam. This map is for the skirmish the night before, where John Bell Hood's division came up to kind of slow down the approach of the Union, or at least probe to find them. And they had men in skirmish line all the way up here at the Miller farm. And of course, George Meade is going to come across with his 3rd Division. He's going to send his 1st Brigade under Truman Seymour, the Pennsylvania Reserves, and they're going to come in here into the East Woods the night before the battle. And of course, his other 2 brigades under Magleton and Anderson, they're going to be up here in the North Woods. And Hood's men, not having any rations and being hard-pressed for 3 days in a row, requested a break. And so his men were pulled off the line and replaced with the Georgia Brigade under Marcellus Douglas, and they would be in that spot the next morning when the battle began. Today, if you're paying attention, we are going to be playing the West Woods map, as well as, what was the other one? Roulette Lane, so this will be very interesting. Now let's see who we have here today. 88th New York, part of the Irish Brigade. 56th Virginia. You see Captain Slaughter there, we know very well. 6th New York Cav, Parker. Not my birthday. I think it is his birthday. Hey, here's the 51st New York. We know these guys well. Haven't seen them in a while. They've been on the other server. There's Captain Ulti. And all the names that we know so well over the years. See Benjo back there in the background. Got some new names in here too. I like it, man. Always growing. The Serpents, sometimes they hiss when they go into battle. And of course, artillery. We're not going to be playing on this map. They're just getting everybody ready. See the Virginia Battery A here. And these are 12-pound Napoleons. You can tell by the bronze barrel, the overall shape of the gun. Those are smoothbore weapons. And they could shoot solid shot. They could shoot case shot, which was like a frag grenade almost. You had these balls inside, but that's not. You know, they also had. Damn, why am I drawing a blank here? Solid shot, case shot. You had shell, which was basically just a shell that had gunpowder in it that would explode and throw fragments. But these case shots, they had these balls inside. But that's not canister. Canister had fewer but bigger balls, and those were, they didn't have a lot of them in each one of their caissons, only 4 apiece. All right, so we'll go into the battle. Thank you all for being here. Really do appreciate it. If you want to get another perspective on the battle, or if you want to go to the other server, Koto is over there. He's going to be streaming as well, so make sure to go and check him out. There are no rules to say you can't play both streams at the same time and mute and unmute to see who you want to listen to at the time, and get a chance to watch both servers in real time. So hope everybody takes an opportunity to do that. Of course, we all grow together. We're all here for the same thing, to make this game better, to draw in more players, and to reenact these historical events. All right, so make sure to throw those flags out in the chat. Who do you think's going to be winning today? Ah, the West Woods. One of the most confusing parts of the battlefield. Let's see who we've got here. First, North Carolina sharpshooters. Third, South Carolina. Huh. Oh, looks like John Wilkes Booth is also spectating. Hey, John Wilkes Booth. And then on the Union side, 72nd Pennsylvania, 7th Michigan. All right. So, 72nd Pennsylvania, I think that's Howard. Yeah. So, General Sedgwick brought in 3 brigades in his division. This is the West Woods. How do we know where we are? Well, we always look for the Muma farm. It's on fire, not set by the Union, set by the Confederates. Didn't want the Union to use that as a sharpshooter's nest. And right here, the famous Miller cornfield, that's the epicenter. Over to the right, you'll find the Dunker Church here. Down over there behind the trees. And this, of course, is the West Woods. Right behind the West Woods, that's the Alfred Poffenberger farm. Right there is probably that. And then we've got Real Ridge. Now, of course, this isn't exactly accurate, but right up on that way over here, you have Nicodemus Heights. And you see the Nicodemus farm there in the background, the heights in the background from there. They're, in reality, they're a lot more predominant. The only, and it's not a complaint by any means, the only thing this game can't get quite right is the topography, because you won't believe how undulating this land really is. But anyway, so Sedgwick comes in. He's the 1st Division of the 2nd Corps. And the 2nd Corps commander is actually the wing commander of the whole right side of the Union Army, Sumner. And he actually goes with Sedgwick into the West Woods with his 3 brigades. And they're all piled on top of each other. And I think he's trying to do a punching maneuver through here. But what ends up happening is he exposes his left flank, and the Confederates take advantage of it. McLaws is a reserve unit for Robert E. Lee. He puts his reserves in at this moment, and McLaws with Seams and what's left of Jones and Barksdale and Early and Anderson, they all just smash into the flank of the Union 2nd Corps 1st Division and just rout them. They flee to the north. So this is what this battle is part of. So we know the 72nd Virginia, that's going to be under Howard. He's in the 3rd Brigade of Sedgwick's men. And we also have the 7th Michigan here, which is interesting because I'm trying to place where the 7th Michigan was while we restart the round here. I think 7th Michigan... Oh, wait a minute. They were in there first. Yeah, they're under Dana. So Yeah, so the 7th Michigan, and this is why, okay, this is why they're doing it this way. It makes perfect sense. So you had 3 lines, 3 brigades. And the first one is going to be Gorman. He's going to come in. And then behind Gorman, too close behind Gorman, is Dana. He's going to come in. The left unit, the left regiment in Dana's brigade that got hit first is the 7th Michigan. So that's why they're here. And then Howard comes in behind Dana. Of course, Howard, famously the one-armed general, lost his arm in combat. Happy to do it. A real abolitionist. He a lot of people were fighting this war to preserve the Union. He was doing it for to free the slaves. There's no doubt about that. So his 72nd Pennsylvania, also his farthest left brigade. So what we're experiencing here are the initial attacks from early, and he's going to come in and smash into the 2nd Corps along with Barksdale and G.T. Anderson and portions of Kershaw as well. So this is what we're looking at here. And I think, let's see, who was it again? Let's take a look. 1st North Carolina Sharpshooters, I think they're just attached to another unit. 3rd South Carolina is going to be, I think that's Kershaw's men. But again, this is representing Early and Kershaw's attack into the West Woods. So, pretty interesting. This game, very historical in nature. That's why we love it so much. You're looking at the famous Hagerstown Turnpike. It's still there today. As a matter of fact, I'll be there next weekend. I have volunteered to be an ambassador for Antietam this year, and I'm really looking forward to it, going back again for more training, and I want to share that with you. So if you're not a member of the Chase History Discord or the Chase History YouTube channel, go check that out as well. Or you can just stay over here on Jehovah and watch these excellent battles too. Appreciate you being here. All right. The clock is getting ready to start. The men are preparing for battle. You see Alabama German Legion. Truslow in command. We also have the 3rd Alabama. There's Captain Williamson. Large and in charge, boy. They bring the heat. And 2nd Corps, 6th Louisiana, along with 14th Louisiana as well, Lieutenant Muffin. Major Fruit, 4th Georgia. Got some good numbers this weekend for the Georgians. I'd like to see that. Still fairly new to the UEC. See, they've got the Shenandoah regulars along with them. Taw is in there somewhere. He might be on the other server. Oh, there he is. Tall Gray, Rocket 100. So, can the Confederates do what the Confederates did historically and smash the 2nd Corps as they go into the woods? We saw these guys before. 6th New York, 88th New York. And the Serpents. 51st New York, one of the veteran regiments in the UEC, showing their stuff. Singing glory, glory, hallelujah. Of course, by the time the 2nd Corps came across the open field, they were greeted with the corpses of the men that had been there earlier. They're coming through here. I don't know, what is that, 8 o'clock? 8:45? Yeah, so between like 8:30, 9:15, that's when this is all happening. Early in the morning, but again, this battle started at 5:30 in the morning at first light, even before first light, to be honest. So they had already been fighting for hours by this time. And the Union made good progress. They pushed all the way through these woods, and which are much, I don't know, man. I'm going to say larger than in real life. It's hard to say, but I feel like it. I feel like these houses are closer, and I can't tell if they're trying to say that that's the Alfred Poffenberger farm. I bet it is. That might be, instead of the Alfred Poffenberger farm, that's probably the real farm, if I had to guess, because that's real ridge right there. It's actually a ridge. It's not flat like you see it here. has some high ground there, and Confederates had a lot of artillery up there after the mid-morning. All right, the clock has started and the Union is moving out. You can guess who's out front. The Serpents, Major Venom, in the quick time. Let's go with them. Of course, streams in the woods are always fun. Not easy to see, but that added to the real confusion that these men were experiencing that day. Hard to see once the smoke starts flying who you're actually shooting at. Is it friend or is it foe? And there was a lot of friendly fire in the West Woods. And you had guys from Howard's brigade firing into the backs of Dana's men. And I will promise you, they did not expect the Confederates to hit them from the left flank. And they've picked up their pace. Trying to get to the point of contention. If you've never seen War of Rights before, what the units are trying to do is hold a special point on the battlefield and take it away from the enemy. And if they can hold that point or break the enemy morale for a certain period of time, they will win the match. But I will promise you, it looks a lot cleaner from this altitude. When you're on the ground in first person, this is absolute confusion and mayhem. These are all dedicated and experienced players, and you are in for a treat. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the fun. Yeah, and I could be wrong, but I just feel like these woods are a lot more dense than the real. You can see these large old trees. There were a lot of old growth there, but I don't think a lot of this underbrush was actually there. This is historically accurate for today. If you go there today, it looks very much like this. But my understanding is during the time it was old growth forest, so you had big, large trees. And man, we got some pictures of some tree trunks out there you would not believe. So it wasn't the underbrush as much that was so confusing. It was a lot more about the smoke and just the fact that, again, it goes up and down and up and down. There are gullies here, and the Confederates use those gullies as cover to kind of sneak up on the Union. Oh, and they're right here. Look at this. Up close and personal in the woods. And the Union gets first blood, and the charge is on. Second Rook goes straight in, and the Snakes are following him into the 3rd Alabama. That's a large unit. Wow, and the Serpents just burning straight through. 56 Virginia coming in to help. Not necessary. The 3rd Alabama has melted away. And you can see you got to get your men back together now. They're expecting a counterattack, but which way does it come from? It could literally come from anywhere except from above or below. All right, Confederates, they're mixing it up over here, possibly. Here we go. Doing a large sweep around. I didn't know you could get all the way to the Poffenberger farm. Look at that. It's crazy. I think that's what that is. Now, if that is what it is, that farmhouse is still there. It doesn't look anything like this today. We are right on the edge of the map, so the Confederates are giving them a wide berth. That's 3rd Alabama getting back together. And now the Confederates are going to start to push in. Alabama, German Legion, 8th Alabama. And James Ryan has the flag. Historically speaking, that means the Confederates win. Will they be able to pull it off today? Just look how close they are. Oh. And again, look at the smoke. The enemy is there. You can't see them. And we've got some Confederates running on the left-hand side of screen. Oh, and here they come with the bayonet. I think we understand the Yankees' plan today. It's a good one. But there's a lot of Confederates here. And they're coming to help what's left of their friends. So a great charge and attack by the 6th New York. But now the Confederates filling up that gap and getting even closer. And you can see the point of contention starting to bleed away from the Union. And so the Union will have to regroup and come back this way. You can see them moving. 51st New York. So hard for these guys to even know where the enemy are. He's looking at spawn. And trying to be quiet, because you can hear someone close to you in this game. God, look how beautiful that is. Again, if you're not familiar, these are all real people around the world playing this fantastic game. And if you need any of these shots for any of the videos that you might be making, I love to see this kind of content, so you're free to use any of this footage that you can get. Well, there it is. The Union has done it. They've taken the point of contention. And now the Confederates will have to take it back. Taking a page from their playbook, coming in close. And they'll mix it up again with the bayonet. You see the 3rd Alabama here using these trees as cover. And the Union currently in control of the field. They have the lead. They're not resting on their laurels, still trying to find the Confederates. There's a big old group of them. Major Fruit, 4th Georgia, holding the fence line. As more Confederates start to move toward the front. 3rd Alabama, a large Union force. They're backed up by the Alabama German legions. We've got the 3rd Alabama and the 8th Alabama here. State of Alabama says hello with the mini ball. And here come the Union again. You see a few of them coming through the shadows like Rambos. And the Confederates not wasting any time. They're going to answer that call. Alabama German Legion. A lot of stabbing. Here come more Confederates out of the darkness. And you can see them materialize through the smoke. And they're going to push right through this line. A dominant attack by the Confederates, and the Union line is completely broken. This is historically accurate. You are witnessing Early's counterattack in the West Woods against the 2nd Corps of the Union Army of the Potomac. And 51st New York seems like they've finally stopped. But there's a lot of Unions still here in the midst of all these Confederates. You hear the huzzah. Confederates are now engaged. Union with a commanding lead, but the Confederates are taking back the point of contention. 16 minutes left on the counter clock. And they're in position to do it. So already back and forth in the West Woods. And the Union will once again have to regroup. Good thing about this map is the points, the spawn points are very close to the action, so these guys can get back in very quickly. And the Confederates are about to answer this counterattack, and we'll go back to the main clock. 32:50 left in the match. Always a good match when you extend the clock, and the UEC seems to do that every single week. And there you go. Now both sides are battle ready. Look at that. We've gone from a Union lead back down to just absolutely tied. Incredible. These matches are so good every single week. Sorry I can't do it every week. Like I said, I'm going to be in Sharpsburg, Maryland many weekends this year. But we've got guys like Koto out there making videos and keeping us all up to date with what's going on in the UEC. I really appreciate all you guys doing this. I love watching those videos. Keep putting them on the Discord and we'll keep sharing them. Like I said, we all grow together. So the Union, they've now been repulsed twice. They've got to come out with a plan. They have successfully taken that point of contention. You see the Confederates aren't interested in staying in that place as it bleeds away. Most likely just from decay, nobody being there. And if you like what you're seeing, you want to see more of it, if you have Amazon Prime, your subscription is free. Go ahead and subscribe. We appreciate that. Any money we make on this channel goes directly back into it. We've been able to buy some gear in the last couple years to make these streams a little bit better. I think the quality has definitely gotten better. Hope you guys are enjoying it. And of course, this is the more history side of the house, if you will. That's really what my focus is. And the more I learn, the more I can share with you. Because if you weren't interested in the American Civil War, you'd probably just be playing Call of Duty. Right? In this game, the real weapons are real weapons that the people would have actually used, and the creators of the game have gone into great pains to make sure it is that way. It's not perfect, but they've done a really fantastic job. And I, for one, appreciate their efforts. So once again, the Union will snake through, no pun intended, with the Serpents in the lead, trying to find the point of contention, trying to find the enemy flank, and they found them. 3rd Alabama. Here we go again. Look how close the men are. Large Union force, a 2nd company coming in on the left, 56th Virginia, great support. 2 units working together, much better than one fighting alone. You see 56 getting up close and personal. Slaughter, not afraid to mix it up. And I anticipate the bayonet any time now, but they're doing a fairly good job with the musket. And the 3rd Alabama will need support if they're going to stay in this position very long. Got 2 companies on them right now. And the Confederates are fairly spread out. Well, you can see the Union from this position able to reclaim the point of contention, and they're doing it at a rapid clip as the Confederate flag goes down and the 3rd Alabama start to melt away and waver. And here they come with the bayonet. I was going to say, any second now. Oh, shot in the back.
Where's the blood coming from?
Wow, that looked like friendly fire, but maybe that guy's a Confederate. They came from Harper's Ferry. There are reports they were wearing blue uniforms, which was not only confusing in real life, but also confusing in game, as some of these units that came from Harper's Ferry are actually wearing blue. Now, I don't know that's true for McLaws's men as much as it would be for Archer's and Branch's men that would come in later. So I don't think McLaw's ever crossed into Harper's Ferry. I think he was on Maryland Heights, and I think they came back on that side. I know there was a lot of concern that McLaw's would get cut off. But he did, in fact, make it back to the battle in time. He got there about, I think it was like 7 o'clock in the morning. Let the men rest a while. There's a funny story about McLaw's being so tired that he laid down in the grass, and when the command was directed to move, they couldn't find him. He woke up in the grass and had to rush to find his men. Well, you hear the huzzah. The Confederates engage, but they are holding off the Union from capturing the point of contention at this point in the battle. 27 left in the battle. See both sides kind of licking their wounds a bit. A lot of Union coming in this way. We've got more reinforcements. 6 New York. Parker in command. Guess it's that. Did he change his name to Not My Birthday Today? Is that what's going on here? Not afraid to get out front. Of course, these cav guys chomping at the bit, waiting for cavalry to enter the game. Oh, man. Better respond immediately. Will the other units come in to support? It looks like they are. Parker setting the line. Here come the 88th New York. They got reinforced. Alabama German Legion now. A little bit on the heel, and here they go. They're going to back up, try to get some cover in these rocks. And now both sides engage. This thing is almost a dead heat. We've got less than 27 minutes to go. Oh, and the Confederates are making a counterattack. Here we go, on the side. Ooh. Come on, camera. 3rd Alabama on the flank. And 3rd Alabama, man, they just keep finding themselves in the hot spot all day long as they slug it out with the Union regiments here. Serpent Brigade, there's Cap Nolte, Zerberos, Venom, of course. And they're going to fall back. A lot of pressure there. 1st Lieutenant Fork. So a lot of pressure. Confederates still fighting it out on this side of the line as well. 6th New York, 8th Alabama. Alabama German Legion, but you can see the point of contention is going rapidly to the Union. 25 minutes left in the match. And the New Yorkers taking it once again. And you almost want to form a box because they can literally come from any direction. But most likely the direction of spawn, and here they are. And they know they're going to be outnumbered here unless they can get some. There's James Wesley. Until they can get some reinforcements up here. They're on the way, but it's going to take them a minute. But the Confederates don't seem to be in a big hurry to press this. This is the 2nd Union counterattack of the day. So they are having success moving the Confederates around. I think the Confederates are really spread out. I'm not sure if they've all found just some defensive area that they like, but it's given the Union an opportunity to kind of find and gang up on units 2-to-1, and that's how you're successful in this time period of war and in this game. You see the New Yorkers are really starting to lose some men here, and the Confederates just keep pouring reinforcements into this spot. So they can't hold this thing for very long by themselves without help. And he knows it. It looks like they're going to come in and finish him off. Maybe some Rambos there. There were 3 or 4 of them. Now they're coming in onesie, twosie at a time, and that's a sure way to get killed. Of course, Fort Georgia very happy to see that, and here come the counterattack. It's exactly how it was done, and Terminator gets terminated. And the 51st coming back on the scene. Not in a big hurry. Why should they be? They're in charge of the battlefield at the moment. 10 minutes left in the match. Confederates have to get nasty and make something happen within the next 10 minutes, or the Union's going to walk away with this thing, leaving more than 25 minutes on the clock. So we'll see how the Confederates respond. The Union does have a small force behind them. Of course, 6 Cav. And here comes the 3rd Alabama. They had enough of this shit. And the little 6 Cav is going to get just absolutely washed over by the 3rd Alabama. And now the Confederates making a flanking move. 4th Georgia coming in first. Union coming in, counterattack with the bayonet, 51st New York. And they'll slam also into the 8th Alabama. Boy, and these guys get excited. It's hard to turn them around. And they're making their way through the Confederates. Oh my God, brutal. Confederates almost had it there, almost able to push the Union off, but they were able to come in with the bayonet. You see the 51st New York. What a stand, and this could make all the difference. Confederates now only have 8.5 minutes to make this thing happen. That's plenty of time. You can get your guys together in that time. Probably enough time to make 2 attacks. But the first one was not successful, and now the Union have to get their numbers up as quickly as possible. That means these guys have to get back here, and you see they're already in position. 56th Virginia on the field. And it looks like that's what the Confederates want to keep doing, is that little swing around flank attack. See how long it takes the Union to get wise to this. They're going to try to come in on this side and flank them. That's historically accurate. As you can see, the Serpents rebuilding their numbers. Now, of course, we can see those flags. They cannot. The Confederates are definitely coming this way. And Slaughter's going to walk right into them. Here we go. Kind of surprised each other. The Union finally did see him coming, but the Confederates overshot him a bit. And they're going to put all their pressure right there on the Virginians. Now, where are the rest of the Union? Oh, they had friends here. Oh, here they are. 51st New York. Waiting for the right moment. Coming in to finish off the Confederate attackers. There he heads up play. Didn't have a lot of men, but it's not over yet. Here come more Confederates. Captain Williamson, 3rd Alabama. And it just goes back and forth, over and over. But the Confederates are doing it. They're getting that blue line to wash away. Less than 6 minutes, or 6.5 minutes on the counter clock. Confederates look like they want to get this thing back to the real game clock right away, and they've got the men here to do it. So a great counterattack by the Confederates. You see them just all flooding into this area. This is the key to victory right here. Pile them up, make them kill them all. Serpents already back engaged. But a whole lot of Confederates here now. You got the whole damn army to deal with. And the smoke is just oppressive in these woods. see the American flag draped over the rocks there. That is a mobile spawn point for the Union. They need that if they're going to get men to the battlefield quickly. And it's currently in Confederate hands. Louisiana trying to sneak up on the Serpents. Just not a lot of New Yorkers left, and the Confederates really showing some muscle here, about to take this thing back. And at this point, the Union can't do much about it. Now, they are coming around on the flank, coming in from the back side. It's a great tactic, 6th New York. But the Confederates have done it. They've spoiled the second counterattack of the day. 25-18 left in the match. And they will absolutely surprise the Confederates and smash into the flank. 6th New York. Alabama German Legion trying to recover. A perfect attack by Parker and the New Yorkers. But the Confederates are moving, and they want to flank the flankers. Here they come. The 2nd Corps, Louisiana. They're going to come in behind the Union from the same route that they came in themselves. Can they fare better? They do have more numbers. Both sides taking losses. Confederates once again losing the point of contention. The Union Army answering the call, trying to take this thing back. An amazing battle in the West Woods. Wow, well done by the Union. And they're about to take this thing back for a 3rd time. Wow. Incredible battle. And this is how it really was, folks. The American Civil War. Taking ground, losing ground. It's hard to hold it. The weaponry of the time was very advanced compared to the tactics, of course. And not a lot of fixed positions on this battlefield. Very hasty. They do throw up some rail fences and things like that to have some little makeshift barricades. But here we go, another counterattack for the Union. Huzzah! 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 Of course, the terrain in the West Woods was also very good for defense. As a matter of fact, there's a rock ledge that runs along this edge, and that's where the Union was hiding when they were shooting the Louisiana in the back. Famous photo of the Antietam aftermath. Fire is starting to erupt as the Confederates approach the point of contention. Fort George is first to get here. Major Fruit. But he's got 2 companies on him, trying to provide a distraction as the rest of the army comes in. Alabama German Legion. Louisiana behind them. 3rd Alabama to their left. And they do have a large force heading this way. Can they work in concert? 51st New York, highly outnumbered at this point. Will they get some help? And for the New Yorkers, there's plenty of targets because you got a lot of muskets pointed at you. They're going to choose this one on the right. 3rd Alabama. And they've got a lot of people here. Able to hold. Has more Union in the area. 88th New York, 51st New York. Hey, it's 52nd New York in here. And here come the Confederates once again. Alabama German Legion. 3rd Alabama. Absolute chaos in the woods. 4 minutes left on the counter clock. Well, almost 5. As you can see, the Union's starting to lose its grip as the Confederates wash in and take that spot. Wow, great battle. And once again, they've got the Union flag here. And they get hit from the back. Surprise attack. 6 New York. They've been doing it all day. They never see them coming. And Parker and his boys are really earning their pay today. Confederates able to hold, but they're not getting much rest. They're going to be looking over their shoulder for the rest of their life after 2 of those surprise attacks. You see, it's not quite over yet. The Union able to do it. Well done. And they're going to take their flag back off of those rocks if they want it. And you see, they're getting back the point of contention. What a fantastic job. Well done, Parker. So 3 minutes left. The Confederates now in a lot of trouble. They can make another attack. They've certainly got time. It's going to have to be a good one now. Are we going to be able to get any Union in time? I don't see. They're pretty far back. So Parker doesn't have a lot of men to hold this spot at all. And they know it, so they want to get the heck out of there before they can get completely destroyed. A heads-up play by the New Yorkers. Still got this flag left out here. It wasn't theirs. And the Confederates will slowly make their way back in. Now, can the Union get here in time? It is a long way. You see those flags far into the distance, so I think the Confederates have plenty of time just to walk back in here and take this thing. If they choose to, but they're not going far. Cavs still holding the edge here. And here we go. The first reinforcements have arrived. It's the Serpents, and they'll smash in to the Louisiana. That is a beautiful thing to watch, man. And they're not done yet. Of course, mass confusion, just finding the enemy in the woods is not easy. You see them running off in different directions. The mass coming for another group of Confederates. Alabama, German Legion. Taw Gray's got the flag. Better run, Taw. You got a whole lot of snakes coming through the woods. And the boys in blue pushing the Confederates around, but not on the point of contention. Only 124 left, but that red line is going back to the rebels. Can the Union get back in here in time? 4th Georgia. Can they stop the red line? A minute left. This is looking like a Union victory to me. Can the Confederates turn it around? They're trying, but they're breaking. Oh, flagman going down. Wow, what an incredible match. These guys are really, really fighting their asses off. Less than a minute to go. 23 minutes left on the clock. And the Union trying to make this an early day, but the Confederates have something left to say about it, and here they come. 3rd Alabama. I don't think the Union can get enough men over here in time. Look at this wave of Confederates. Oh boy. And the red wave pours through the west woods. This wasn't a lot of hand-to-hand action, but historically accurate depiction of what happened there that day. We're in overtime. The line's coming back red. The Confederates might do it right now. Can the Serpents get back in time? They just went to breaking. Here they come. 51st New York. But they did it. They got it back. 23 minutes left. But now if the Union can take the point, they can win the battle. So a major comeback for the Confederates, but it ain't over yet. They're not done yet, folks. They're still in the lead, and they know it. But, man, what a great defensive front the Confederates have put up now. Is Parker going to pull off some more of his flanking magic? And give him what he's been giving him all day? See, this game is awesome. We just went from a nail-biter. This thing was about to end in seconds. And no problem, we're halfway through. 22 minutes left in the match. Thank you for joining us. Oh, man. Love this game. And it wouldn't be anything without these fantastic players. Thank you to everyone in the UEC for coming out this weekend. A great-looking bunch, and you guys have really been mixing it up. Look at the bodies, dude. My God. We talk and we learn about the Civil War to remind us of how horrible it actually was, and we don't want to repeat it. Because that could be any of us, or our brothers, cousins, uncles, fathers, teachers, blacksmith, farmers, firemen, policemen. So 21 minutes left. Everybody's going to take a deep breath now because the Union knows if they can take this point of contention now and hold it, they can win this match. But they don't want to lose too many tickets doing it, or they'll get into a final push situation. Thank you all for being here. Throw it out in the chat. Who do you think's going to win? Is it going to be Union? Is it going to be Confederate? Both sides playing well. It's a dead even match at this point. Confederates teetering on the brink of failure multiple times, able to come back. Again, historically accurate. How the Confederates fought all day at Antietam, especially here in the West Woods. Just a complete flank and destruction of Sedgwick's division of the 2nd Corps. So the Union will come back. They've got to make a coordinated attack. They want to take this point of contention now. There's no reason not to. A lot of New York regiments here today. A lot of New York regiments on the field historically as well. So I'm curious if the Confederates are going to stay spread out. Looks like they're able to support each other here, and this is going to be working in their advantage. As soon as the Union show themselves, they're going to get a 1-2-3 punch. So, how will the Union approach? Already hear gunfire. We've got Confederates on the flank, mixing it up already. 3rd Alabama. And the flankers get flanked, I guess. 6th New York got hit, or they were hitting. I missed it. But they're mixing it up here in the woods. And that's kind of drawing the forces away from the point of contention. Again, tickets, what we call tickets matter. That's morale tickets, and you lose morale, you lose the game. So that's what these blue and red bars represent at the top. You see, they're just about even. Union trying to change that, and they've got a lot of Yankees over here. Going to try to hit just one Confederate regiment at a time. And you can see we've already got it mixing up right here. 6th New York. 8th Alabama, German Legion. And now the Union again. Smashing into the Louisiana. This is a massive attack. Sergeant Dark. Don't stab me, son. Boy, oh boy. Union making a strong push there. The Confederates in a lot of trouble with tickets, but both teams on the brink here of destruction. 18 minutes left in the match. Neither side having much left, but the Union has a slight advantage at this point. But don't tell that to the 3rd Alabama. Here they come back through the woods. They're going to be on that left flank once again. You see Confederates starting to mass now toward the point of contention. It's not going to be easy for the Yankees. They might be able to do it with another strong push. That one, of course, coming up short. How are they going to approach it this time? We'll go with them.
I can follow.
Yeah. Alright.
Sorry.
No, I'm following.
Oh.
Any of you guys want to follow line? Don't need this, so we don't need
Look how good those uniforms look. I love how they're communicating together. Slaughter's going in. 51st New York coming in right behind them. And you can stand where these men are standing. Antietam National Battlefield is an open-air classroom. You can come here and learn about this battle. If you're in North America, that's a lot easier, obviously.
Like chivalry.
You heard them. They're going straight in with the sharp end. And we'll go with them in real time. So a final push and a last stand all at the same time. Less than 2 minutes to go, and the Union has pushed off the Confederates, but not too soon. Here come Louisiana and Georgia. Who's going to win this map? This has got to be a draw. Both of these armies have just beat the hell out of each other all day long. Last stand, I think, means that Union don't get any more reinforcements. No, they got some reinforcements coming. 1 minute 13 left. Man, what an incredible battle. I mean, Confederates hold the point of contention, but here come the New Yorkers. Confederates doing their best to hold them off. Here they come. They're kind of stretched out. Makes it easier to kill. Oh man, here they come. Enforce the Union. They might do it right here. They might win the whole thing. 30 seconds left. Do they have time? and more Union pouring in. That's it. What do they give us? That's Union. Yep, that's a Union victory, boys. Wow. Wow, wow, what a great match. Well done by the Union, well done by both sides. An incredible match. Back and forth. Well done, everyone. All right, well, if you like that, make sure to hit that like button. Consider subscribing. Till next time, my name is Jehovah. I'll catch you later. Goodbye. Man, look at that. That replay of the clock, just back and forth and back. It just tails the tell. Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. I love this. This is an incredible match. I mean, this is Hall of Fame style matches. When you just get guys just absolutely. And Parker had a great day. Well done, dude. Those flanks really made a difference, in my opinion. Went a long way to help him for victory. So, well done by everyone. I'm very excited to go into the next match. Where did I say we were going? Oh, Roulette Lane. So, of course, the Roulette Lane, these UEC guys figured this one out a long time ago. Union's going to use the Alabama defense, which is where you throw men on the wall and you basically create an L. It's the dominant defensive feature on the map. And the Confederates will typically attack it down by the barn. So, we'll see if they play in that traditional fashion or if they have something else up their sleeve today. There's, of course, the famous Dunker Church. Visitor Center is out to the left of this camera right now in real life, or in modern times. The Maryland monument sits on that high ground in front of it. Well, I want to thank you all for being here. Make sure to throw out those flags, who you're representing today. And we'll be back into the second match shortly. Of course, the beautiful Rohrbach Bridge, also known as the Burnside Bridge. Alright, let's go into the next map. Thank you boys for sticking around. Greetings from Cuyahoga Falls. My name is Jehovah. Welcome back to War of Rights. It's Saturday and we're hanging out with the UEC. Thank you to everyone in the UEC for once again allowing me to watch these excellent events. And we are at a very important part of the battlefield. Let's get our bearings, shall we? There is the Muma Farm. It is on fire. That means off in the distance across the way, you guessed it, that's the Dunker Church. To our left, or now to front of camera, this is the famous Bloody Lane. Off in the distance, that's the Piper Farm. Confederate forces would be coming from that direction, and they get stuck in this lane. And although it does provide a good defensive position if you're in the lane, as long as you don't get flanked, spoiler alert, it's a death trap because you can't go out of it. As soon as you try to run back to the Piper Farm, you're going uphill and you're getting shot in the back by Union. This is a tenant house that was there at the time, no longer exists on the battlefield. However, the Roulette farm and these outbuildings are there, including this little pond and the barn. Now, it's in a slightly different position than where the game puts it. This is one of the things we talk about a lot. The Roulette lane actually comes off right here in this area. So the game has it at a slightly different position. But the devs of this game do such an incredible job, you know. We point out the differences, but it doesn't take away from our love of this game. It's so beautifully done. And if you go there, it looks like this, guys. It's really incredible. Of course, the barn looks a little different today. It does not have this little side building on it. I guess this little hay cover. And it's a different color. But some of the stonework is still there. It's pretty cool. And this building is still there, and I believe there's a couple more, actually. Now, these are famous beehives struck by some artillery, and the Union men complained about getting swarmed by bees as they were coming through this area on their way, of course, to fight at the Bloody Lane. Now, this is the Roulette skirmish map. So what they're trying to do is the Confederates are trying to take this position, this artillery position. So you've got guns up here on the high ground. Confederates don't have guns. You've got a stone wall out in front and a worm fence on the right. So the Confederates will typically come straight down this fence line behind. Now, UEC does not use interiors of a home, so you don't go inside. They'll come down that fence line, or they'll come back down around. This is the most popular, around the back of the Roulette farm where they have some cover. They'll stack up behind these haystacks down here, and they'll come down this fence line to try to break that corner. A lot of times nowadays, of course, they'll also try to use the hill as cover and get up to this worm fence. Problem is, you're going over some exposed territory, and there's a lot of guns up here, and they've got 2 artillery crews. The UEC is known for having deadly cannoneers, and we're going to start with we got the Virginia battery here, as well as the Serpents. So this is going to get ugly. Oh man, you got ulti on the gun. We're going to get some Confederate jelly most likely today. Now the Confederates are starting over here. This is like if Cook's guys made it further. You know, as a matter of fact, I'm curious who they got here. 3rd Arkansas and the 27th, right? Yeah, 27th North Carolina. So this is like the Confederates did actually make a counterattack behind the Union here. So they had just repelled George Greene from the West Woods, and so they came out this way. Now, my understanding, I could be wrong, I don't put them much further than the Muma Farm area. Like, there's some talk about them being around these haystacks and stuff like that. I don't put them this far down to the Roulette lane. They never got that far behind the Union, in my understanding. I could be wrong on that. I'm still learning, but that's where I'm at with it today. So this is a little bit of a what-if scenario. What if they would have pushed in? Now, who do they have on the Union side? 1st Delaware and 14th Indiana. Okay, so these are French's men. Let's say that's right. Yeah, 1st Delaware. Who was the other one? 14th Indiana? Yeah. Yep, they were all French's guys. Of course, 1st Delaware historically are going to be on the far right flank, and they're going to come and eat a lot of that fire from the Confederates. It gets really ugly, along with the 14th Connecticut. Rich and I have a video on one of the channels. I think it's on the Jehovah channel, and we stand there, and you can see how close the action is. It gets really bloody. And the clock has started. The men are in motion, and you're about to see one hell of a slugfest. Let's see how long it takes these Union guys to get those cannons barking. I'd say with ulti running a gun, it ain't going to take long, and they're all going this traditional route. I love it. Let's go with them. This is some great footage. If you want this for your videos, man, I encourage you to use it. We'll get like a drone shot kind of thing going. Could be good with some Taking the long way around. This is even further than they normally would go. I guess they want to go get some bass fishing done. I don't think you can get this far. But I always get confused. Yeah, you're at the edge. You're not going around. 4th Georgia playing around a little bit, taking a non-traditional path. And the first Confederates arrive are the Louisiana. See the Union in a strong Alabama defense. Confederates now using the barn as cover, trying to plan their attack. And they're going to try to go straight down that road. And the Union will just swap their defense from this line to that line, and with superior interior lines covered by artillery. This is like a perfect defensive position if you are Union. And the Confederates are in fact going around the back of that pond. Good for them. That's really cool. You don't see a lot of that. I love to see that. And they're going into the woods, and they're going to try to maintain some cover before they hit that outside. So this is the new style attack on this map. And we'll see if the Union can flush them out of the woods. I'm out of bounds. Okay, they're still in bounds. But not by much. They're right on the bleeding edge of it. Oh, yeah, that's it right there. So we'll see how this works out for them. They're most likely going to lead the attack, but they're going to have to come right over open ground, and the Union are behind a worm fence. This is going to be a massacre, especially if Ulti gets those guns working. Oh, boy. What a beautiful shot. Going straight for the fence. You have to. And if they can get over it, they're trying to find the edge of the line so they can get to the other side. All the Confederates pouring in. This is a great way to do this. Trying to overwhelm the Union defense. And they flanked them. Here they are. They're on the other side of the fence. Well done by the Confederates. That is not easy to keep your men together going that far of a distance under fire. And they've done it. Now they'll work right down the line. Ulti and the big guns paralyzed. They can't shoot into their own men. So the Confederates aggressive early. I love this. And again, I just love the tenacity of these men. Are they going to use the traditional methods over and over? No, they're going to try something different. Try to produce a lot of numbers that the Union just could not handle, and that's what's happened. Now, they're not pressing their attack. They're kind of waiting, and oh, here they go. They've got that bush there between them to block the line of sight. Confederates are concerned about the artillery. You can see Ulti's men absolutely getting decimated by this, but they're leaving themselves open. The infantry's kind of giving them room. Can they get that big gun loaded in time? You see Ulti ramming that damn thing home. Here's Private Jake. And that looks like case to me. Confederate jelly on the way, but the Union guys are going to get in the way of it with their counterattack. Ulti just waiting for the guys to get clear. Any second now. Did they get killed? That gun's still pointing this way. Oh, there it is. Oh, I knew it. Well, the Union has foiled that initial attack. Well done by the boys in blue. 34 minutes left in the match. And I'd say they got the worst of it, though, to be honest with you. Confederates have not lost as many tickets. Of course, they are the attacker. They get more of them. You see the Union spawning down here at the Bloody Lane, having to come running back this way. So, an initial attack, and now we get to take a breath, get the armies reinforced, and see where they'll come at you next. So, you know, it's really easy to make the same attacks over and over and over again, and I've seen guys do that. I've seen them go the other way, so I'm curious what we're going to get here today. See Alabama defense in effect. Guys are going to go down and cover the other side just in case. And now the gunners are back. I'm sure they're a little irritated. They did get one shot off, so their morale's probably doing them just fine. But you don't like to see your comrades dead on the ground. And of course, we were talking about this in the Discord earlier. Over 10,000 horses at Antietam. And each one of those guns is going to have 6 of those horses, and there are a lot of carcasses. Let me go ahead and tell you. So the 3rd Alabama going to take a different route. This one down by the tenant house. And Union not really with a strong defense yet, so the Confederates can get here fast. They may be over to overwhelm the New Yorkers in the 52nd New York here. The 6th New York Cav trying to hold this spot. Just not a lot of these guys. You know, Parker's more comfortable on his legs as you would. So here you go. He's moving. I love it. Trying to get in front of the enemy, trying to still stay at that wall. And they got some help from spawn. 56 New York, and here come the Serpents as well. So 3rd Alabama going to have a handful here in just a couple moments. As all the reinforcements get here at once. Close quarter fighting. Oh my God. That gun is going to be a bully all day. Holy moly, look at that fence. And 3rd Alabama, they've got to know they're in a kill box. They got to get the hell out of there, and there they go. These commanders know what they're doing. But man, what a shot. And now the rest of the Confederate Army, now if 3rd Alabama was trying to get their attention, they got it. But the other Confederates not in a position to follow up with a swift counterattack. You can see the Georgians going back into the woods. That's their attack prerogative. I like it. It's cool just going around the pond, too. Alabama German Legion. It's about who can get their guys there first, and I would suggest, you know, in this attack vector, of course, the Union has the shorter distance from spawn, and they're starting to get packed back up, and Alabama might get some help here. Now it's the remaining Alabama coming in from spawn. They're going to link up with their men hiding behind the tenant house and try to put them in a hammer and anvil type situation. Now, the Alabama defense is designed to prevent this from happening, but a lot of forces moving up. They might catch them with their pants down right here. Union not paying attention to the left wall, and that might lead them into a lot of trouble. We got a lot of Union or a lot of Confederates coming from that direction, although there is help down here. I don't think it'll stop a full frontal attack. We'll see how long it takes. We'll figure that out. Oh my God! Well, he'll have to figure it out in the next life because, Jesus, he just got turned into Confederate jelly. Wow, what a shot. These guys are absolute maniacs on the gun. First Virginia. Henry Perkins and his crew lighting it up, man. What a shot. And they are really covering this side of the field. And I don't know if the Alabama are ready to go out there and face that, having watched Williamson turn into a pink mist. See Fork trying to get his guys calmed down. You almost have to wait till you hear the big boom and then come out after. Wow, that might be the single most beautiful artillery shot I've ever seen. It hit him direct. It didn't even leave enough to throw arms and legs, I don't think. I get tickled about the silliest things, but here come even more Confederates. They got a lot. They're going to have so many guys they can't stay behind the tenant house. There's just not enough room. Oh, Williamson down again. Just getting brutalized by the heavy fire, but his men are under a blanket of mini balls as some of them use the fence as cover, some of them don't. Trying to rush up to get across the roulette lane here. God, they're doing it. As you can see, Union now engaged. Brilliant attack by the 3rd Alabama, but it ain't over yet. More artillery, and the New Yorkers are out on the road trying to defend the lane. Both sides now engaged. 28 minutes left in the match. And a counterattack by the 6th New York. Cavalrymen like to fight on their legs, they say. Here you go. We got more Confederates coming through the open field. Constant attacks on both flanks. I love it. This is real tactics. This is how you do it. But can they catch the Union off guard? 28 minutes. The Alabama defense is working. And they're running it to perfection. These Confederates using the hill as cover, trying to stay away from that artillery. But Ulte's boys are over here. We'll see what kind of flies they draw. A lot of Union coming up the hill. 51st New York. Here come the Louisiana along with the Georgians. They'll do what they can, but it's a strong defense. And it's holding its own right now. Confederates once again stalled, and if they leave themselves open to artillery fire, I promise you they'll get it. Trying the best they can to kill those gunners so they can't shoot in this direction. I see one pointed right over here. And there it went. Did it hit anything? Looks like it shot right through, just missed them. So another great battle. Looks like the Union's starting to take the lead back just ever so slightly, but at dead heat, 26 minutes left, and the Confederates have not given up on this hill. Alabama German Legion now joining the fray. 18th North Carolina in there. Union trying to respond. See the flag bearers there, proud to carry a stick into a gunfight. Union really fighting to hold this hill as it starts to rain. 88th New York. Now these boys would have fought over on the hill in the Bloody Lane. Which would have been, oh, about right here. Came across right through there. And they were large, so they were stretched out quite a distance. All right, Confederates coming back again on the left. Union ready for it this time. Slaughter moving his men into a great position to flank the enemy. They're going to get all of the Alabama's attention. So this is a sacrificial move, but it's going to expose a lot of the Alabama to gunfire. But a lot of them are getting out, so Slaughter's men doing what they could. Again, this is the bad thing about this. You're getting a lot of these guys coming directly from spawn, and now 3rd Alabama smashing into them as well. It's a long way to run from Alabama all the way to Maryland, but they've done it, and here come more Union to defend this spot. Oh my God! Impossible! What is a man to do under such incredible destruction? Jeez, man. Well, RIP, VIP to the artillery of the Union. My God. They are using this 3-inch ordnance to perfection. The Virginia battery lighting it up on this side of the field. Ulte's boys doing a great job as well, using a smoothbore Napoleon. And the Confederates, man, not even having a chance. The big guns really making a difference in this battle. Infantry, of course, doing their job, moving men as they need them from the left to the right, using those interior lines to their benefit. And it's hard for the Confederates to do. You can see they've gotten over the wall a few times. They just ran out of men and didn't have enough. And that's the only thing when we're playing with this few number of men. I mean, mean, 184 ain't nothing to shake a stick at. That's a lot of good men. But you can imagine having thousands and thousands of men. You could really do a lot more maneuvering. But you almost have to have a concentrated punch to be able to get through these defenses in this game, as you would. And the Union would learn that later in the war as well. You see that at Petersburg, at the Mule Shoe. They come up with a different kind of method of punching through the line and then, you know, turning their flanks from the inside. And it worked. Carlton, I don't know what you're looking at, but you're doing a damn good job. All of you boys. Some of the coolest artillery I've seen in a while today. And the Confederates are really getting the brunt of it. A lot of Confederate jelly. I'm going to have to get some extra bread. And they're going to do it again. They're still keeping with this wings approach, trying to spread them out in the middle. Maybe they'll do a center punch at some point. You can see 3rd Alabama going to come this way once again. Williamson, man, he's been murdered multiple times today. One of them, one of the most horrific artillery shots I've seen in quite some time. And these guys know. So smart. And I call this the Alabama defense because the first time I ever saw it really done well was 8th Alabama, 8th Florida, and we used to call them the Mighty 88. They figured this out to perfection. Like, they're I mean, it's obvious that you do it this way, but the communication usually breaks down, and most of the time there would be a gap in the wall and it would be exploited fairly easily. But when they work together and swing left to right, they were able to hold it almost impregnable. I've seen it turned, and the most successful ones lately have been up here, and you see that's why they're doing this kind of attack. But it's going to be hard to penetrate this line. You see they're going to try it again. Williamson right up front, goes down again. Oh. The only fear I feel in battle is that I fear I won't take enough of them with me. Williamson expressing that with his actions today. More artillery coming in. Confederates aren't stopping, but there just aren't enough of them left. That's the problem. One regiment against two is never going to work. You're just going to run out of men. Now, if it's just to get their attention and pull them away, that makes a lot of sense. But you can see the Confederates not ready to launch the attack quite yet. So this is going to give the Union time to move troops over to this area if they need to. And they're not buying this left-right stuff either. They're keeping the center locked down. 88th New York, right there in the elbow. And yeah, just VIP to the artillery today. Just well done, boys. All these guys are always very good. Hey, there's old J.A. Glasscock. You know, something that a lot of people don't ever think about that I've been thinking a lot about lately. Mr. Roulette and his family lived in that house. And they were just living their lives, man. They didn't ask for these armies to show up on his doorstep. He got his family out of town, but he stayed at the house because he wanted to try to protect what he had because, you know, ultimately they would rob him blind. But he's down in the cellar, and there's reports of him coming out as the Union Army is coming through his property up toward the Bloody Lane, and he's cheering them on. Get those damn rebels out of here. Here they come again. Yeah, I just don't know that this is going to work. They might turn the flank, but unless they do it at the same time, they're going to be able to move all their men up like you see here. I mean, the Unions moved all their men up. Just a great defensive position for that. Confederates are trying to pour across, but you see the Serpents now coming up in behind them, and it's going to be a bloodbath. And the Union easily repulses them, but both sides taking losses. Less than 19 minutes left in the match. You can see, this is what I'm talking about. You've got to do both those attacks at the same time. And I'm sure they're trying that, but how do you communicate across this whole field, right? You'd have to have a predetermined time. And that's not easy to do or to agree upon. You can see the rebel flags laying in the dirt. That means no mobile spawn points. They've got to get those back, or their men will have to come in from all the way over there every time. So the Union defense still doing its job. Both sides about even. The Confederates are losing just by a hair, I would say, but still. We've seen some of the most even matches in a while today. And God, look at the bodies. Remember, folks, somebody's brother, somebody's uncle, somebody's dad, somebody's grandpa, somebody's cousin. We remember the Civil War because we do not want to repeat it. What you're witnessing is a failure to compromise on either side. And we see that here. Here come the Confederates. They're not compromised. They want the middle. This is why you try to spread them out. They've only got one regiment down here. How long before they respond? Here they come, and it's a wave of blue coming down the hill. Sections of this wall are still here today. Funny enough, the ground comes up to the very top of it. Instead of having a wall that can defend, there's actually just a little tiny rock wall there. You'd have to be laying down to get any cover, and you wouldn't get much. But the Union's done it. They've held off. 16:57 left. And now it's just a matter of tickets and time. And they're still trying to spread them out. Well done by the Union today. They have really rocked this server. I mean, not that the Confederates have been doing any worse, man. They've been doing it great too. Just coming up on the short side of it right now. I don't know. God, it's so close. 16:24 left. Union hold the point of contention. And that the hardest part is, can the Confederates take it? Because they haven't really shown the power to do so yet. Because they're attacking it different wings at different times, and it's given the Union time to reinforce their flanks. Which I'm sure they are not trying to do, but it's just the timing is so hard to get right when you're spread across this field. You're almost going to have to make a solid punch, and it looks like maybe the Alabama have decided to come and join the Confederates on the other side of the field. Nope, that's 4th Georgia. They've switched sides. They were over on the other side. Now they're going to come down behind the tenant house. And maybe the Confederates now will do the old traditional and come down the road. It is possible. We'll see what happens. Here the guy's having a great time. And that's what this is all about. If you're interested in the American Civil War, or maybe you wanted to be a reenactor and you just can't afford it, this video game doesn't cost a lot of money. There are no extra charges that I'm aware of. And you get to join one of these fine company of real people, veterans. These guys have been doing this for years. This is a real army. And they do such a great job, and we get to witness it every week. So if you want to join us, pop into the Discord. Links on the YouTube channel header. And we'd love to see you. Make sure to get you matched up. All these commanders would love to have you. Lord knows they need the men to make attacks like this. And you can just see it in action as the Union transfers men from one section to the other to plug the hole. Confederates start to try to build up in the middle. And they may be able to get a simultaneous attack this time. Now the left is engaged and the right has started to engage around the tenant house. How long before they try to sweep around and get behind the Virginians? The Confederates have backed off. Oh. Coming through the yard. 3rd Alabama. Uh-oh. Now this is enough to punch the middle. Here we go. A lot of Confederates just entered this section. Now the Union who have... Oh, my God! Jesus, they just won't give them a break. That artillery, anytime the Confederates get any kind of momentum, they wipe it away with a wet rag. And that's just what happened again. 3rd Alabama charging in ferociously. I thought we're about to get a punch. Let's see if they can break this line. Boom, over. I'll write your mama, boy. Wow. I am fired up. VIP to these gun crews today. Of course, that's easy when you ain't got nobody shooting back, but damn, that's awesome. You can hear them laughing. They can appreciate the work they're doing. Another Confederate attack spoiled, and I'm calling it at 13 minutes. With this kind of artillery on this hill, with gun crews that are this good, and infantry that knows how to defend this corner, I don't know any Confederate force that could penetrate this. So let's see if I have to eat my hat here. With 12 minutes left to go. You think I'm right? You disagree? Tell me in the chat. Man, I am fired up about the artillery, dude. They have really shown themselves. Look how organized they are. Professionals. That's what they are. See ulti there. Perkins has been on glass all day. Every time I see him, he's got his glasses on. That is a fine mustache you got there, Ulti. Rocking a Dale Earnhardt. I like it. So, what will the Confederates do this time? Man, they've got to stay away from the artillery. And, you know, it's one of the reasons Antietam is the bloodiest day in American history, is because look at these open, sweeping fields. This is an artilleryman's dream, to see long lines of your enemy walking through the open. And you can shoot a shell 1,400 yards, 1,200 yards, and explode it into their ranks and kill multiple men at a time. It just absolutely stops attacks, and you see it here today with the 3rd Alabama getting massacred. Hey, lost German soul. Wow, CSA won on the first server. That's cool. It can be done. But you have to break this line, and they have not been able to do it today over here. And you can see again, they're spreading out, trying to hit the flanks. This kind of thing works, I believe, if you've got the men for it. But I just don't know if they have the men for this kind of tactic today. You almost have to just punch through and you know, spread them out. But these guys know how to play much better than I do. I'm just a talking monkey. As Koto says, a monkey behind a camera. It's fitting. And if you guys haven't seen or heard of Koto, go check him out. Kotow. He is streaming as well. If you want a different perspective on the other server. And 3rd Alabama, again, risking destruction. This time they got help. Alabama, German Legion, coming with them. And this is what you need. And now you can see the Union scrambling to defend the left. And there are Confederates come. Oh my God, another one. Jesus. And look at the effect. The men are confused immediately and start to run away, giving the Union time to plug the hole. This is a brilliant use of artillery. Perfectly done. How devastating it. Oh my God. You can really understand what some of these soldiers said when this was not war, but systematic killing. My God. Oh, but the Confederates used that to turn it. They are on the fence. This is their chance. Can they break through? 9.5 minutes left. They've got a good defensive stance, but they've got those guns to worry about, and they're up close and personal. And as long as those shadows, those gun crews are working those guns, these Confederates are in immediate danger of termination. How close do you want to be? We don't want to get the camera sprayed with blood and brain matter, because, oh, they barely missed. Confederates starting to thin out. Both sides breaking. The Confederates can take it now. They can win the match. 8:52 left. But the point of contention's not in the corner. It's out over here. Where 3rd Alabama's been trying to get to all day. And the Confederates start to scurry back toward the Roulette barn. Getting a lot of fire from up on the top of that hill. Hard to deal with. A lot of fire from those New Yorkers as well. 8.5 minutes left, and again, looks like a dominant performance by the Union so far. Although both sides are breaking, it's so funny that it just feels like the Union is having their way with this, but the Confederates are here neck and neck. They're not behind at all. This is a completely even match. But I just haven't seen them have a lot of success getting across. Now, what if they're lulling them to sleep? What if they're doing this left-right thing all day, trying to make them think that that's what they do, and then all of a sudden, boom, the whole Confederate army shows up at the last moment? That could happen too. Anything is possible. God, that artillery, man. Could you imagine? No, you can't imagine. But imagine, try to imagine what it would be like if you survived this day and all you heard all day was boom, 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 watching people blow up, seeing your friends shot. I mean, again, if you're in a company, you come from the same county, you probably know a lot of the same guys. Some of them are family members. And you just watch them get murdered. And they had to live with that for the rest of their life. It's pretty hard to think about. And that's why we don't ever want to do that again. So let's figure it out at the table so we don't do this again. Because a lot of people have this opinion like, oh, well, you know, we're beyond this kind of thinking and there's no way that Americans could do this again. But it can happen. And we got to make sure it doesn't. That's why we remember these men and the sacrifices they made and the lives that were thrown away. A lot of these men were in their 20s and 30s. A lot of the guys, especially privates and things, much, much younger. And so, yeah. New Yorkers really doing a great job this weekend. Having to hold a defensive position. I know that's not in their nature. They like to attack. But once again, a great defensive position by the Union. And the Georgia are going to do a little hit and run, some peekaboo. Yeah, the artillery fired so much ammunition that day. I mean, the 20-pounders across the Antietam Creek shot all day long. They literally ran out of ammunition. And one of the points that Hartwig makes in his book is that McClellan's waiting on ammunition for those big guns before he wants to, you know, attack Lee again or pursue him in any way. And of course that gives Lee time to get across the Potomac. But you can't really fault McClellan for wanting to have his artillery. It had been successful for him today on the 17th, that's for sure, because those 20-pounders across the creek, Confederates had no answer for that. And they just rained shells on the Confederates all day long. So if you got out in the open, you were dead meat. And we're seeing an example of that here today with the artillery of the Union. Here come the Confederates. Alabama, German Legion, Truslow in the van. He's got out the bayonet. And more Confederates coming now. Instead of hitting it all in one point, they're going to try to spread them out a bit. I don't dislike this, but that puts the unit out in the middle of the open field. You can see them up there. More Confederates come down the wall. It's what you want. You want to get that stone wall as cover. Union doesn't want to let you have it. New Yorkers out in the road. Flanking maneuver. And again, the Confederates try to come up the hill, but there's a lot of Yankees up here. Almost attacked as one force, but got a little spread out. And they'll just bleed them down from here. 4 minutes left to go, and the Union really starting to take command of this battle. Confederate attacks are just resulting in loss of morale. Looks like they're trying to get something going here on the corner. Yeah, they've got it. All right, can they exploit this now? They've got a lot of the Louisiana here, and they've shot through their Union counterparts, but here come more Union. 56 Virginia. See Dan Hagman. Can't speak today. He's right there. And now more Union coming up to finish the job. 6th New York, 52nd New York. And just bleeding away tickets from the CSA. I'm saying it's a matter of time. You can disagree with me if you like. But right now, the VIP, in my opinion, is this Union artillery who has been absolutely dominant all day long. And this reminds me of the good old days. You know, one of the first artillery crews out there that really stood above and beyond were these guys, the 51st New York. And for a while, they kind of got away from artillery, and it made me sad. But they're back, and they're doing a hell of a job. Now, that's a 3-inch ordnance. That's a rifle gun. That's a smoothbore 12-pound Napoleon. So using different types of artillery. They're at close range, so it doesn't really matter. Here come the 8th Alabama. Alabama, German Legion, going to use the fence as cover. They know that artillery is deadly. And they're coming in as one, but they're all stretched out. Oh, and he had that corner targeted. Wow. Absolute brutal. A lot of Confederates getting through at that time. They kind of hit the first few. The Union able to respond. A lot of Confederates lagging behind. Yeah, I think they just got a little too stretched out there. It's not going to probably work out for them, although they can keep flooding in. Can they get a foothold on this line? Not with artillery like that. Jeez. That one was a ricochet. Confederates coming in, but they're flanked by the New Yorkers in the road all the time. Do have some help as Confederates are now charging the middle as well. This will protect their flank. Can they do it? Can they push over that wall? Less than a minute to go. They've got to get down the road. Oh, wow, what a ragdoll. And the Union coming in, final push. This thing is over, 40 seconds left. And I think it's safe to say the Union's gonna sweep this server for the weekend. An incredible defensive victory. Wow. Yeah, once again, VIP goes to the artillery. Confederates have not given up yet. Louisiana coming in. Overwhelming odds. And there it is. A Union victory. Yeah, it was close, but man, again, I just think they just never could break that wall. Yeah, I would have thought it would be closer if the Confederates would have kind of got in there at some point and had been pushed off, but they never really could even take it. It's a hard map for the Confederates these days, especially those guns. All right, if you like that, hit that like button. Consider subscribing. Until next time, my name is Jehovah, and I'll catch you later. Goodbye. So you guys want to raid somebody? Steinwallen's playing Rust. Say hi to him for me. I appreciate you guys being here today. Have a good one.